Do you think it's more likely Berhalter goes Shaq Moore or one of Adams, McKinney, Weah Musa?
I mean, it would it would end this podcast for the summer because I would stop watching and all
the live stream gets unplugged if Shaq Moore starts.
Planned would be null.
There's no world in which he starts Shaq Moore.
No, he's not starting.
But if let's say
Scally gets hurt, Shaq Moore will start.
What if Scally has a horrific first match?
He'll go Shaq Moore. He'll go Shaq Moore.
That would be insane. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
That would be
To
insane.
watch these fucking frauds play if Shaq Moore plays.
Right.
Welcome back to Yanks Abroad. It has been a little for us, not for you guys, as we scheduled out the Euros and Copa content. But today we have a U.S. men's national team specific episode to get you guys ready for Copa America, which we'll be hosting. We'll be talking about our friendlies, our tune-up matches we just played. We'll be talking about the best lineup to go for starting this tournament, and then some other fun things to end it off.
For sure.
So it just happened last night. You guys are going to be seeing this a little later, but let's talk about the Brazil match and, of course, touch on the Colombia match after a big bounce-back performance.
For sure.
Your biggest takeaways from the match?
It's funny because I'm sitting there watching the match and I'm incredibly impressed by the way we're playing.
Yep.
But still my biggest takeaways were the little flaws here and there where it was like, this won't work in tournament play. There was an element to that match where Brazil they were not playing 100% up to their level.
Okay.
I think we were playing at our best level. I think as great as that side played, it is so clear to me, and I love Yunus Musa, but it is so clear to me he cannot be our lone six.
Nope.
He
Completely
just
agree.
Doesn't have the positional awareness to play there on his own. It hinders the way that Weston McKennie plays. It completely... the problem is he's our best carrier, and I don't know how you get Reyna, McKennie, Musa on the pitch if they're not the midfield three. I haven't quite figured that out.
Yeah.
And so maybe it's Musa at right back, although Joe Scally was excellent. Or maybe it's Adams at right back. But you can't have...
I don't know. Throwing around the word excellent
and
Scally's performance, I think, is a little much. I think he was
for
good.
him. I mean, he wasn't the best right back in the world last night, but for Joe Scally, that's his second best performance for the U.S.
Having to play against Luis Diaz and Vinny back-to-back is obviously just a disgusting task to be given. And I guess this is me being used to how good Serginho is in the attack, but I thought he was an absolute liability for us in attack. He offered nothing, and more importantly in that match, I'd rather him be great in defending than him great in attack. But I just think we're gonna suffer as a result because a lot of our play, if it wasn't Pulisic, I think Weah and Dest usually created the most for this U.S. team, and I think we're gonna suffer a little bit with him at right back. But that wasn't. I think he has solidified himself as the starting right back.
I would agree.
My one takeaway, because I agree with that, is I wish we could... I feel like he could be a Rico Lewis. We're not going to play that inverted right back role, but I just thought, if Berhalter was capable of being a good coach, and, I mean, it's too late to implement it now, but, he would be so perfect to play an inverted center midfield role, Yunus Musa. If
anything, to me, you play Adams at right back and he comes and steps in next to Musa. Yeah. So, because that gives Musa the freedom to be the carrier that he is. His ability to carry the ball in many, many times created not only attacking chances, but allowed us to just get out from deep. Yeah. And I think we'll really miss that, but I just don't think he can start as the six.
No, I completely agree. That's what separates the great sixes is you have a bunch of things, but the key thing is always being switched on and always checking your shoulder, always being aware when we're in attack.
It's all scanning.
Where can the counter attack come from? And Yunus Musa just doesn't have that drilled into him. A Rodri and a Rice are always switched on to what could go badly right now, even though we're on the attack. And whereas Yunus Musa is more focused on currently what's going on in the attack because that's just his profile. But a Tyler Adams, I think he has that profile, and he got 25 minutes, 15 minutes last night. I think
Johnny was good too, but 25 minutes.
They were both good. I was originally, before last night, ready to come on here and say that Gio Reyna is a must start. I think against a Uruguay and a Colombia and a Brazil, I think a midfield of Musa, McKennie and Adams is the way to go.
And I honestly was thinking to myself, all right, maybe you play Reyna off the left, Pulisic off the right, and you don't start Weah. But Weah, to me, was the best attacker outside of Pulisic on the pitch last night.
He puts in a 7.5 out of 10 every single time.
And it was not just like, for me, usually for him, it's his great fast runs down the wing. He'll cut inside, he'll take a man on. There were so many times when balls came to his feet that were not well played or were brought in hard, or they were clearances or whatever, and he was controlling it and allowed us to just control possession out from deep, which is so massive if we're going to go up against a Uruguay or Brazil in this tournament. Like, to have somebody who's a true outlet like that, and he's not always going to do that. I agree, he always gives a 6-7 out of 10. He's never terrible, but that was the best performance I've seen from him in possession, in terms of just being smart with the ball and not forcing things, and he was great. And honestly, I give Ricardo Pepi a lot of that credit as well. He was so good with his back to the goal. I know I watched your little video about the game afterwards, but I could not disagree more. To me, Ricardo Pepi cemented himself as a number 9 for the first match. I think what he offered with his back to goal was so supreme. It also allowed Pulisic to be as good as he was, picking the ball up in lots of different areas, playing off of Pepi. He wasn't just waiting for the ball out on the wing. He was in the half spaces on both sides, either side of Pepi. He was making runs in behind. My issue with Balogun, and actually what I thought was going to work so well with Balogun, is that he is so willing to come and receive the ball out on the wing. But I actually think for this U.S. side, it's so important for Pulisic to have that free roaming role that I'm not calling him Eden Hazard, but the same thing that Hazard was so good with in Chelsea, where he was playing left wing, but he was really playing like an attacking mid-second striker role. And that is where Pulisic is at his best. Like, Pulisic was so good for Milan this year off the right, but he wasn't really a touchline winger often. He was really able to play a little bit more centrally. And I just really think with Pepi, you're allowed to have that. Now, will Pepi be able to find that goal scoring form that he had first half of this past year, what he had with the U.S. 18 months to 24 months ago? I'm not sure, and that could be the key to our ability to beat a Uruguay or Brazil. But to me, Pepi is just offering a lot more security and possession than any of our other number 9s, and I think that is honestly what we need most from them, which is crazy to say.
Yeah, maybe we need to shift, and it's like what number 9 is going to score goals for us. It's which number 9 is going to do everything else the best other than score, and we have to depend on our other players to make that happen. I want to touch on the striker position, but real quick, I think one thing on Weah that we didn't speak about, just that made him so good, is he's also so willing to track back.
Oh, incredible.
And because he's used
to he's been playing that right wing back at Juventus, so which has been great for us.
He's drilled to be doing both, and especially when you're coming up against so many good left wingers, specifically in this tournament, like having him, I think Scally played great, but I think a lot of credit goes to the fact that he was left on an island a couple times, but I think Weah did well to double down a lot, which helped on the Vinny thing.
100%.
So I think Scally deserves his credit, but I think some of that credit goes to how well Weah did, because we've seen this a lot in the Premier League when you have these 60 to 80 million plus pound wingers who refuse to track back, and then you have wing backs that are isolated as a result, and I think he did really well. On the striker position, I agree Pepi held the ball well. He only had a few minutes, but I thought Ballo actually did the same thing.
He did well. He did that one viral thing that's going around with that, like where, we played out from the back in the 70-something minute. Balogun did really well there, but not to interrupt you, but my issue with Balogun is a lot of times he's actually getting into really good areas. Like, he had a really good opportunity, got all the way down the left wing, and then just like he has no confidence in front of goal right now. And I saw that. I'd rather have a Pepi who is more willing to play off of his teammates and a little bit more, not reluctant to shoot, but he knows his role. Like, I really think Pepi understands his role in this side, and I think a lot of that actually grew in his time at PSV, learning from De Jong just in terms of being a true number 9. Yeah. And I don't know. I think I'm very disappointed by Balogun and the way this year went for him, especially off the back of his year.
He's like the only one who didn't fly in Europe this year. I mean,
it's crazy to say, but like based off of all the forwards we have, like if it wasn't for the fact that Berhalter did all this to convince him to play for the U.S., he probably doesn't get called up based off of form. If you look at Pepi,
Sargent's
Haji,
hurt though, right?
Yeah, well, Sargent also getting hurt. But I'm just in the grand scheme of things, if I told you
that's fair.
12 months ago there was even a discussion, wouldn't be. I would never have said that. I mean, my fucking Twitter account was named after the guy for 2 years. Like, I love the player, but he's just got no confidence right now.
Do you think Haji didn't get any time last night? He's said to be playing winger. He played some winger, some striker. Do you think it's right that he didn't even get a look in? Based off of form and
I'm
involvements,
shocked.
he was probably the best striker out of all of them.
Also, like, not just form on the year, like the last 3 months of the year, he was incredible. Countless huge goals for Coventry, huge goals for the United States in the Nations League. He'll get minutes.
But he didn't even come on the fact that Brendan Aronson comes on as a super sub before.
He was disappointing, I thought.
He's always a little disappointing.
Yeah, I thought he was going to... I'm off of him.
I'm done with Brent. Like, our super subs should be Haji Wright. Obviously, change out the striker to get fresh legs. One big takeaway
if Shaq Moore plays a minute at COPA, I'm going to lose my mind.
Did you hear what they said on the commentary?
I was watching on mute, to be honest.
Berhalter brought him because he's our best 1v1 defender in the entire
First of all, those
squad.
Commentators were so
heinous.
They said after Yunus Musa hit that off of the bar, they were like, that'll give this U.S. team so much confidence. Like, what does that mean? Yeah. Because he hit the bar from 40 yards, that gives us confidence? That doesn't even make any sense.
But yeah, so he said he's our best 1v1 defender. So if we ever need to kill off a game, or it seems like we are happy to get that 1-1 result and like take that into the tournament, he brought him on to, which I don't think is true to begin with.
It's not, I mean, that's insane.
Yeah, that's
How about
insane.
Malik Tillman not playing at all?
Yeah. So one thing that I wanted to note, a big takeaway that I had, and then I want to touch on Matt Turner, is it is going to be so hot at this tournament, and not that these players aren't used to it due to their countries, but they've all been playing club where it hadn't really gotten super hot.
No, yeah. The Brits are so upset about how cold it is there.
Like, it is going to be a big... I think super subs are going to have a huge... Like, substitutions as a whole are going to have a huge, like, importance on this tournament. Impact on this tournament. And I think being able to bring Gio Reyna, Tillman, and Haji Wright off the bench, I think is, like... We may have attacking depth for like the first time ever for the squad. And I think Brendan Aronson is just such the wrong, because he doesn't give you like a spark.
It's funny you say that. Actually, I was last night after the match, I was like thinking about Pepe and like, all right, he's probably not going to score that much. Where the goal's going to come from? Like, Pulisic can't do what he did last night every match. He's going to run out of steam. That was so potentially his best match for the United States.
I mean, that free kick like shouldn't be.
Aside from that, you take that out of his match comp, he was incredible.
But like if he's that clinical to where like, I honestly, it was taking a while for them to set up the wall for the ref to blow the whistle. I said it out loud. I was like, all right, let's just hurry this up. He's going to sky this. Like, let's get the game going. The fact that he put that away against Allison, I understand. First off, Allison.
He just went the wrong way.
From that close.
He was cheating the wrong way. From that
close, you have to trust your wall. Like, it's a
He
really
totally misplayed that, which is so odd for Allison. Right. But, like, he was
still
cheating the wrong way the whole time.
But he hit it hard enough and perfectly placed enough to where, like, if you catch anyone taking one step in the wrong direction, that's a goal against any goalkeeper. Obviously, Allison being the best in the world. He was amazing. But, yeah, you were...
So... Just because I was worried about Pepe not scoring enough, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I looked at our attacking options and their goals and assists for the United States, and it's actually pretty surprisingly good.
Yeah.
So Aronson has 8 goals and 6 assists for the U.S.
That's surprising.
That's really shocking.
How many appearances is that in? You don't...
I didn't write that. Yeah. It's like 28 or something like that.
Yeah, because I was like, he's gotten a lot of tick.
I'm just thinking about, I don't know if you remember when the England squad was announced, that like Saka has the second most goals for the side with like 11 goals or something. 8 goals, 6 assists for Aronson. Balogun in I think it's 12 appearances, 3 goals, 3 assists. McKennie has 11 goals, 6 assists. Pepe has 10 goals, 3 assists. Pulisic has 28 goals, 15 assists. Reyna has 8 goals, 5 assists. Weah has 6 goals, 4 assists. And Haji Wright has 4 goals. Like, these guys have scored plenty for the U.S. Like, I don't know if we need to be that worried about scoring goals. There are guys who can score for this team. That, to me, is so important.
The difference, and forever...
Especially since we don't have a 9 that we trust.
What forever will be the difference is, like, Pulisic as a 2 makes you a real contender.
Of course.
Like, we don't have a guy.
I really think Pepe could be the guy this tournament.
No. He cannot be the guy.
I'm very bullish on Pepe after last night.
In my head, I'm thinking, like, we can't find anything but Ronaldo or Mbappe.
How many goals do we need from our number 9 in the group stage plus the quarterfinal in order to feel like he was a guy?
I need a goal in every 2 matches. So 2 and 4.
2 and 4? I was going to say 3. We're playing Bolivia. He needs to score against
I mean, sure, he can stat pad, but like...
No, but that's part of being a guy, is being a stat padder as a number 9. That's what makes them the guys.
I need one in a big moment. Like if it's
that's Haji Wright's the big moment guy.
That's why I'm pissed he didn't even get any tick.
Well, I don't think they care about winning that match.
No, it's not about winning that match. It's about getting him out there.
Yeah,
you're playing with.
He's a veteran though. I think he's trying to give Balogun some confidence. He's a little bit more of a veteran than some of these other guys. It's a young side.
Does Brandon Aronson have more caps than him?
We don't need to talk. Yes,
right. So
we don't need to talk about Brandon Aronson. I think we're on the same page on this. I'm pissed that Aronson came on, not Tillman.
Yeah, that's absurd.
Like, Tillman needs to play more minutes than Aronson in this tournament. 100% has to play more minutes.
Yeah, I agree. All right. I just want to... So, Matt Turner. He was fantastic last night.
11 saves. Most since Tim Howard against Belgium.
I think what we are used to watching the Premier League and high-level goalkeepers with their feet specifically.
He has no tech.
I think we just need to accept that we want to be a possession-based team outside of our goalkeeper. Now, that's counterintuitive, and can you really do that? I don't know. Well, but he just needs to fucking hoof it long. Like, we can't play with fire. It's gonna bite us.
It's twofold. Number one, he is really, really excellent. This is something I noticed for the first time when his first match for Arsenal 2 years ago. He is really excellent at, when he makes a save, getting the ball out of his hands quickly and getting it to somebody who is in space, which allows us to then play out of the back because we beat the first lineup for the press immediately. Countless times he got the ball to Anthony Robinson in space directly out of a save.
Sucked last night.
It wasn't great, but his sucking now is so much better than his sucking was 18 months ago.
Agreed.
Like, he's not wasteful in possession.
Form.
Yeah, but like even that time, there was one time specifically, Turner rolled the ball out to Robinson, and Robinson was like, there's only one guy in front of me. I'm going to carry the ball the whole length of the pitch. He carried the ball all the way the whole length of the pitch and then dribbled it out of bounds. But before...
I actually almost broke my TV.
Before, he would have lost the ball much earlier and then not been back in position.
We have to raise our expectations.
No, we don't. We are taking it step by step, especially...
People are talking about him... If you take the entire season and not just a half season of Vardiol, Anthony Robinson was the Premier League team of the season left back.
All right, well, now you're just making me get to it. Anthony Robinson or is what I brought for you today. Okay. Just for Copa America, not for left backs in the world, but just for this discussion about Copa America, because I'm not sure if it's crazy, but Anthony Robinson is potentially one of the best left backs at this tournament.
Not based off of last night, off the season, sure. But go.
But I'm just going to give you the names. Anthony Robinson or Marcus Acuna.
See, that's the problem is...
You can't even get through one.
No, because like I don't watch him for club much, and then when I see him, he's in the best side in the world. So
who would you rather have starting for left back at the U.S.? Anthony Robinson or Marcus Acuna?
Marcus Acuna.
Nicolas Tagliafico.
Robinson. I feel like Tagliafico.
I think that's not even close. Yeah, Tagliafico's fall off after one good year. His name is just recognizable because he had one amazing year. He's been awful for club, and he doesn't even start for country. This one's kind of a bit of a weird one because he's not going to play left back, but Alphonso Davies.
Yeah, Davies, obviously.
But he's not going to play left back. Gerardo Arteaga, the Mexico left back.
Oh, Robinson.
Piero Hincapié.
Hincapié. He's like a left center back, but...
He was going to play left back in this tournament a lot because Stupinian is out.
Hincapié.
I agree. Matias Vigna.
Yeah, Vigna.
Yeah, probably. Wendell.
Wendell, I thought was really good last
He's really good.
I would take Wendell.
He's been really good for a long time. Yeah, he's been a good player in Europe for a long time.
I would take Wendell.
He just never could get into this Brazil side because for years Brazil had all the best left backs. Now they have none. They did.
Outside of
Marcelo, Felipe Luis, Lodi.
Yeah.
They have like a...
You're putting Renan Lodi in that group?
The 1 year he was amazing. All
right, fine.
And then last is Johan Mojica.
Oh. I take Jedi.
Yeah, I think that's right. So he's like the fourth best left back at this tournament?
There's only like 6 good teams in the entire tournament.
I don't know, man. I just think like you wouldn't...
No, I mean 2 years ago I would have told you don't have to play this. He's the fucking worst in the tournament.
It was just like running. He was just running. That was all it was.
But last night, that's kind of what I saw. He was really good.
He honestly suffered from having too much space sometimes, which is crazy.
He was actually really good positionally. Like they tried to play behind him to Rafinha through him and Ream a couple times, like that diagonal ball, and he cut that off. So I think he
handled Rafinha great.
Rafinha looked really good last night.
Really?
Yeah.
I felt totally the opposite. Yes.
It kind of looked like when he got the ball, like we were in danger.
But he's too wasteful in possession. He's a great X factor player because he has a wicked left foot, but I just think he's a little wasteful in possession. And you already have Vinny who's wasteful in possession. Like it's a lot of wasteful.
Ream and Richards got off to a slow start, I thought, but in the second half, I thought they were fantastic.
They were really dude. Tim Ream
playing out of the back was insane.
It's crazy that it was ever a question if Tim Ream was going to start this tournament. He's by far our best center back.
He looks a little slow, but you just have to eat that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We're not going to play the highest line at this tournament. First of all, most of these teams are going to play a pretty deep block. That's how this tournament always goes. But yeah, the back line was good. It sucks we don't have Dest. It really hurts. Because
it hurts a lot, especially just if you had like a couple years ago when he wasn't at PSV and had the best right back in the world, like it wouldn't have hurt as much, but he was so good this year.
Yep.
It's actually insane.
Brutal.
All right, so do you want to do the starting lineup?
Sure.
All right. So Turner obviously gets the start.
Correct.
It's just something about U.S. keepers when they put on the jersey, like they become unreal shot stoppers.
Yeah. I will say, and I'm not trying to be a hater at all, I think Turner was great as a shot stopper, but it was a little bit similar to that Tim Howard game against Belgium where pretty much every shot was directly at him. He made one or two amazing saves.
That's unfair.
11 saves came because we sat a little deep and allowed them to shoot the ball.
No, he was super quick off his line, which closed down a ton of angles.
He was.
The save at the end was really, really good.
Yes. The one where he got his hand right here was incredible.
The Endrick left foot breakaway could have slipped under.
Endrick's good.
Endrick's great.
How good was Martinelli after coming on last night? He was great.
Brother.
That was a great cameo for him.
He played 8 minutes.
And he was really good in that 8 minutes. He set up Vinny for 2 unbelievable opportunities, and Vinny didn't finish either.
All right, Martinelli greater than Vinny. Continue.
That's not... I wasn't even talking. Turner, Scally, Richards, Ream, Robinson. I think that's a no-brainer.
Is there any... Yeah, he would have had to have tried it with someone else in these 2 matches if he was going to play anyone else.
If Scally isn't going to be the right back, do you think, I'm not saying what would you do? Do you think it's more likely Berhalter goes Shaq Moore or one of Adams, McKinney, Weah Musa?
I mean, it would end this podcast for the summer because I would stop watching and all
the live stream gets unplugged if Shaq Moore starts.
Planned would be null. But I can't see a world where you have 2 tune-up matches that don't mean anything, so you want to try everything possible. And he didn't try anything but Shaq Moore at that right back position. So if it's not Scally, it is Shaq Moore.
There's no world in which he starts Shaq Moore.
No, he's not starting.
But if
Scally gets hurt, Shaq Moore will start.
What if Scally has a horrific first match?
He'll go Shaq Moore. He'll go Shaq Moore.
That would be insane. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
That would be insane.
To watch these fucking frauds play if Shaq Moore plays.
All right, before we get to the midfield, hit the subscribe button. Yes. We are going to be doing live streams for every single U.S. men's national team match at Copa America. We're going to be then also doing recaps for both Euros, Copa America. The content is going to be nonstop for the next month. Make sure you're subscribed so you'll get those notifications when we post, when we're going live, the scheduled things. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram if you just want to see the shorter versions of all of that stuff. But it's a very, very exciting summer, both because we're massive U.S. men's national team fans, can't wait to watch them disappoint us, but also just an incredible summer of football. Like, it feels like we haven't really had this in a while because World Cup was in the winter.
Yep.
COVID kind of ruined Euros and Copa for that. So it's like, I kind of feel like I'm 16 again. So I'm pretty excited.
I think it's 6 days. You have 9, 12, 3, 6, 9. Like, that's insane.
Literally, I'm going to be divorced by the end of this summer.
I might be fired.
Perfect.
Might be fired and have no girlfriend.
Wow.
So
the double whammy.
Yeah. I mean, if I get to watch footy, it is what it is.
100%.
Okay.
Midfield.
I see this... Even if I'm not 100% sure, I always come in with a take. I can't figure it out because I keep going back and forth. I'm like, Reyna needs to be in this starting lineup.
I'm the same way.
So what the fuck do you do?
So unfortunately, Yunus Musa doesn't start.
That to me is, after last night and the way he broke lines and got us out of trouble, he's a must
But he's
start.
good. Here's the question. Is the pros outweighing the cons of him as a 6? And then the other option is you can't not. Weston McKennie is locked in.
I have a question. Once again, we didn't try it, so it's not a real thing. But no, this doesn't even work because Weah needs to start.
Well, the other thing
What if we play a false 9?
So I was thinking that as well. Pulisic kind of can play, instead of a second striker, can kind of play as a false 9, and then you play Reyna off the left.
Oh, okay.
Either they're kind of alternating.
Yeah.
But I think first and foremost, you can't take Pulisic out of his best position, which is playing off of a number 9. I don't think you can add another responsibility to Pulisic's plate that he already has so many responsibilities. Like,
we have 4 must starts in midfield with 3 positions, and I don't know what to do.
Right. No, it's a great problem to have. If Tyler Adams could have the ball carrying ability of Yunus Musa
or Weston, which he has a little
Weston
bit of.
does, but he doesn't have the burst. He
Right.
doesn't have the Adams has bursts. He just doesn't. Like, that's not the way he plays.
No, that's not him. Yeah,
that's just not, and which is fine because he's supposed to be playing as a 6.
My only problem with Reyna is like, now don't have your best game. That's fine. When he got the ball in space, he didn't drive. He didn't look like he was going to make something happen.
The
he looked
craziest,
like he was dribbling and waiting for overlap.
The craziest thing about Reyna's match last night is that he was incredibly defensively. He was so good at tracking back.
Well,
he made a lot of key tackles. That's been my worry with Reyna as a midfielder, always in this side, is that we already not necessarily always have even when Tyler Adams does play, like, I don't think we're always that defensively sound. And when you're taking one of the midfielders who's not going to play,
right.
Like, you can't, US is not in a position where they can have 4 players who are not.
His lesson on not tracking
100%.
back.
So, like, if he's doing that, then I'm fine with him playing as the, 8-10, whatever you want to call that role. And then McKennie sitting next to Adams. That is the midfield.
I think we also, and they should be up for it. It's a big tournament. I think we benefited from the fact that we got fucking thrashed, and like that was absolutely unacceptable. So everyone was up for it. Like, we have to bounce back.
100%.
So everyone was giving a great shift defensively, which we should be getting in a tournament, obviously.
Yeah,
as well.
you would hope. In our home country.
All right, final decision.
So we're in agreement, though. It's McKennie, Adams, Reyna. That's why I was saying Musa at right back.
I said Musa at right back also. I'm in agreement.
I just don't think it'll happen because we haven't seen it.
My thing is when I was watching, when Scally got turned that first time, which was just a great, not much.
You're not going to stop Vinny every time.
I was like, all right, let's break this down. If Scally is an average defender and a below average attacker, why not play Musa, who's potentially a little bit of a below average defender, but provides so much in breaking the lines and in the attack when in possession, but then Scally put on a great defensive performance, and it's like, you probably need that.
Yeah. Here's my question to you. How much worse in 1v1s is Yunus Musa than Serginho Dest?
No, I agree. That's fine, but that's not the discussion at hand.
I'm asking you a question. Is he worse? Is he a lot worse?
No. I think they're
comparable,
even.
right?
Dest can't defend.
So,
just positionally, Dest understands that position more and offers more in attack. Dest is a better player than Yunus Musa.
Dest offers more in terms of final delivery, but I don't think he offers more in ball carrying and ball security.
When we play,
Musa's not wasteful. That's what I like about Musa. He's really not wasteful.
We don't play where he's coming into the midfield. Dest gets in and over Weah, so I think
I figured it out.
Okay.
McKennie should play right back because he is so intelligent and
he played out there too.
He played well in the Nations League at right back.
Yes. Yeah.
Did Dest get hurt? What happened? They just subbed Dest off.
Fit? I don't know.
I don't remember what happened. Oh no, it was Jamaica when we were going at the second half. We were going for it. It hurts to take one of your best players out of their best position, but I actually think he's just so well disciplined, and he's maybe not the best in 1v1s. He's not the best in anything, but he's not the best in anything anyway.
I'm team get your best players on the pitch.
I think they have to.
I think we need to find a way to get those 4 on the pitch at the same time.
And Musa and Adams, just the thought of the 2 of them in kind of a double pivot really excites me. I really think that has the ability for us to, number 1, play out of the back successfully. Number 2, not just get destroyed on the counterattack over and over again. And number 3, it gives us a ball carrier in midfield, which we just don't have. Anthony's going to carry the ball plenty on the left wing. He's going to get the ball forward plenty on that side. How are we getting the ball in the middle zones and the right half space zones? How are we carrying the ball? Yunus Musa, he kind of has to be on the pitch. I'm changing my 11. Weston McKennie at right back.
I don't think I can get on board with it. I think it's Scally.
But it's not out of the question. He's done it. That's the one we've seen him do.
No, it's out of the question because Berhalter didn't try it.
He didn't try anything, though, to be fair.
Showing what he made it very clear.
So we're just going to show up the way everyone knows we're going to show up, and we're going to go lose to Uruguay 4-0.
Essentially. No, Pulisic will get one. Pulisic is...
It's hard for me to root for this team
Pulisic is
sometimes.
an elite level player at this point. On
Pulisic?
form, Pulisic is an elite
you know how I
player.
feel. I
No, I know. All right. We
What
got to
26 goal contributions, all competitions.
What is
for
your
Milan.
dream? What do you want the starting 11 to be? Just go through it. I won't say a thing. And then what do you think Berhalter's is? And then I'll give it.
I'm not going to even read what I have here because I've changed it since we started talking. Turner in goal, obviously. Anthony left back. Ream next to him. Chris Richards at right center back. Weston McKennie at right back. Then we're going to have a little pivot of Tyler Adams and Yunus Musa with Reyna in front of them. Pulisic out on the right. Pulisic out on the left. Tim Weah out on the right. And Ricardo Pepi through the middle. That is my dream 11.
And what changes from that? Just make the substitutions of what you think
Berhalter's going to... The first match, for sure, Berhalter's going Scally at right back.
Yep.
I think he's going to... We're just talking about the first match. Against Bolivia.
Yep.
I think he's going to play Musa at the 6. I think he's going to go with that 11 he played against Brazil. They played great.
Pepi over Balogun.
Pepi over Balogun.
Interesting.
In the last 12 months, I think it's pretty clear to say Ricardo Pepi's been better for the US.
Day one, that was probably a bad question because day one, I think I could see us playing Musa at the 6 and again get Adams 25, 30 minutes.
Correct.
And then he gets the start. What do you think? What's our lineup against Uruguay?
Our lineup against Uruguay is Turner, same back 5.
Yeah.
Then it's Adams, McKennie, Musa.
You think we go...
Reyna doesn't start.
Yeah. See, that's my thing is I don't think we should set up that way.
I just don't...
I think we should still...
They have so much attacking threat.
I think you have to play either Musa or McKennie, but I still think you play Reyna against those big teams.
I think there's a chance, depending how the matches go and what kind of substitutions he makes, that you do see a Reyna, Pulisic, Weah front 3 in that match. I think you could see that. But no, probably not.
Striker depth, I don't find it a way that we're never playing a striker.
I completely strike that from the record. You need a striker who can... You need a striker who can receive a long ball and knock you... Against Uruguay. Just erase that thought. Didn't say it. It was just stream of consciousness. Yeah. No, Reyna's not starting against Uruguay.
So who's your starting striker? Pepi? And you think he'll start?
I will say, if we have 6 points going into Uruguay, I think the lineup is a little bit different. It's tournament football, so it's a little bit group stages. Like, if we need a point against Uruguay, which I think is actually a possibility.
Oh.
If we need a point against Uruguay, Gio Reyna's not starting.
And we just sit in like we did against England? I mean, we played well against England. We set up well.
Played well against England, played well against Brazil.
Okay. One thing that did cross my mind because we spoke so deeply about this. Did it ever cross your mind that we should relax a little because of how open we are about maybe this Brazil side isn't as good as everyone thinks?
I think this Brazil side, first of all, how good is everyone thinking? Because everyone's saying the same thing, like this Brazil side's not that good.
That's not what everyone's saying. That's what I think people who are informed are saying.
I think they're a good side, but they're not a great Brazil side. Like, it can be two things.
Like, who do you think, straight up, who has a better chance? Who do you think is better going into this tournament, Uruguay or Brazil?
I think Uruguay plays better together than Brazil does.
Yeah. Like
when we did the COPA 3 weeks ago, I'm bullish on Uruguay.
That's why I want to take a step back, and it's like we got crushed, and then we came out.
Colombia's in great form too. Colombia, Ecuador, Uruguay are going to surprise a lot of people at this tournament.
You know how biased I am and want to talk it into existence, this U.S. team being good. But, like, I just think, like, we've talked about Brazil might not be good, and we may have gotten a result of Brazil just not being that good.
For sure. I mean, you know the Berhalter thing. Like,
so that makes me...
We don't beat good sides under him.
Did you see the stat?
Yeah. It's horrific. That's what I was... Like, it's hard for me to really be rooting for us this summer because unless we win... It's almost a lose situation where we're going to be stuck with him for 2026.
Okay, now that we're on that, I've been waiting to say this on our podcast so that we can clip it and we can go viral. But I have a theory. Pep is going to coach.
Oh, my God.
One more year at Manchester City.
Please no.
He already came to the USA for the NBA Finals. He clearly is a fan of being in the USA. He's won the treble in every league. Well, no, that's not true. He's won in every single league at the highest level. He's done everything. He wants to win one more Champions League with Man City. He's going to win another treble with City next year. And then the last
This is the wrongest thing you've ever said.
The last Thanos ring is going to be he is going to come retire and take over the U.S. and lead the USA in the World Cup. And Pep Guardiola will be our coach for the 2026 World Cup. We're the hosts.
Why would he do that?
The PR he's going to have.
Why would he do that?
The amount of money we'd pay him. Not that he needs any of this. He doesn't. But why not?
Why would he ever do that?
Why not? It wouldn't hurt his legacy.
People said that about Phil Jackson when he came to come coach the Knicks, and it absolutely throttled his legacy.
That's because he coached. This is one tournament.
Oh, he's just going to come and...
Oh, he's obviously going to do the whatever. He's going to do...
Here's the thing.
He's going to manage
anybody who's managing in
2026 matches.
The person managing the U.S. in 2026 at the World Cup will be appointed a manager before the end of this year. You're not going to come in and have fewer than 18 months to manage his side.
Okay, question. Would you rather a new manager with more than 18 months or Pep with 6?
Obviously, I'd rather Pep, but that's just not how it works.
You change the rules if you get the greatest manager in the game.
I love your dream world. I literally would love to live in it. Other than the fact that City wins a treble.
Question. Is that scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the craziest thing you've ever heard, is that... Like, I don't think it's going to happen. But I think my percentage chances of that happening...
What percentage do you think that has? Above or below 3%?
I think it's contingent on him winning. I don't even think he needs to win the title. This is contingent on him winning the Champions League next year with City. If he wins the Champions League next year with City, Kevin De Bruyne maybe leaves and, like, they go off.
De Bruyne might leave this summer.
Right. Kyle Walker leaves. Like, that City dynasty is done. What would be his next? Where would he go next? Because he hasn't talked about wanting to retire. He's just talked about potentially leaving City.
Yeah.
Because he's bored of winning everything.
I think it's more likely he comes and coaches the Celtics. Then he coaches the U.S. men's national team. Honestly.
Okay, question. What is Pep's next? What does he go do?
I thought this was a U.S. men's national team episode.
It does. I'm asking, what does Pep go do next? Because he's not Real Madrid.
How about Terzic?
That's Xabi Alonso. But that's too far. He's not going to Real Madrid. Correct, right?
He's not going to Real Madrid.
Would he go back to Bayern?
He's not going back to Bayern. He's not going back to Barca.
And he's not going back to Barca, and he's not going to a different Premier League club.
Well, number one,
all that's left.
The Saudi clubs are going to offer him $1 billion.
I don't think that moves him.
$1 billion?
He's a mentality monster. That doesn't move him.
Go win with PSG? I don't think so.
I'd rather you go win in Saudi than win with PSG.
It's the same thing.
Right.
Not a big difference.
I think his next play.
I think national team's his next play.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think it's the U.S.
Sure. Okay. If Spain does as well as you think they, I'm moving the goalposts a lot. He wins the Champions League. Spain performs as well as you think they are going to.
I can't even follow what we're saying.
Man City wins the Champions League. Okay. Spain performs as well as you think they are going to.
So they're not getting a new coach.
So they can't get rid of their coach.
Okay.
Who does he manage? International is clearly his next step for the 2026 World Cup.
England? Ooh.
Okay, fine.
That would be sick.
That would be fucking sick.
I honestly would.
Because Southgate's gone regardless.
Because Harry Kane will already be irrelevant. Just kidding. Anyways. Back to sorry about this. Back to the U.S. men's national team.
Okay, sorry. Well, I'll end here. Percentage chance 1 to 10, 10 being the craziest thing you've ever heard. Pep Guardiola is our World Cup manager. 10,
11, 12.
Okay, fine.
I mean, I would give it like a 5% chance if we're talking about 2030, but he's not going to be our World Cup manager in 24 months. That's not happening.
Jesse Marsch got appointed 3 weeks ago.
Okay, that's Canada.
We're the U.S.
Their policemen ride horses still. It's Canada.
So
it's lawless. It's lawless.
You can't say that if you give him 18 months, like
it's not 18 months. The season ends in May.
How many months? Is
it? 12 months.
You give Pep Guardiola a year?
So he's gonna win the Champions League final on June 1st, 2025.
Yep. Then he's gonna coach us.
The U.S. is going to have either qualifiers or friendlies starting 10 days later. Yeah. Between June 1st and June 10th, he's going to be appointed manager. No, he's going to select his squad.
We can appoint him before the Man City season ends.
But I thought it's contingent on him winning the Champions League.
Well, it'll be him trying to go out on top. It'll be like a Ray Lewis situation.
It'll be like Sergio Aguero.
Sure.
Okay, great. Now that Pep Guardiola is our our manager for 2026, let's go game by game for the U.S. predictions.
Fuck. Back to reality? Really?
Yeah, back to reality.
With Berhalter?
Do we beat Bolivia with Berhalter? What's your scoreline?
Scoreline for Bolivia is a 3-0.
I got 2-0.
Okay. I think
honestly, more than anything, we need to keep a clean sheet against Bolivia.
They're the worst team in the tournament, I think.
Yeah.
FIFA ranking wise. I could be wrong.
Everything wise.
Right.
They are the worst team. Which means we'll probably draw 1-1.
No, stop. We're past
I'm just saying, like, it's a little scary.
We're past that.
You don't get 3 points against Bolivia, and you're immediately in an elimination game.
Correct. It's 3-0. I'm telling you.
We're breaking things in this office.
We're going to take care of that. We have Pulisic gets 2 goal involvements in that game.
Yeah, I think Pepe gets a goal.
Sure.
Okay. Then we play Panama, which is the most important match of the tournament for us.
So we're off a 3-0. We play Panama, who just lost to Uruguay. They need it.
They need a point. We need at least a point. No. All they need is a point, because if we don't get
right.
Because then we lose to Uruguay and they beat Bolivia, and it's a goal differential situation.
Do you have the location of that match by any chance?
I do not have the location.
Okay.
Honestly, though, the biggest issue is we're not going to have home crowds.
Nope, because we're playing on the
We will
West
against
Coast.
Bolivia.
We should have played the Midwest and the East Coast.
Honestly, we will probably against Bolivia and Panama.
The West Coast, we don't have a strong fan base.
I'm not going to say much more, but I think it's more so the other people who, live on the West Coast. The West Coast has a very
sports.
The West Coast, yes, and the West Coast has a lot of Latinx population.
Correct. No, that's obviously a fact. That's why I'm saying putting us on the West
Coast. But
I
don't know
stupid.
if is there a high percentage of Bolivian immigrants in this country?
I'm not worried about that, but
Panama maybe.
People want to go to matches anyways and maybe root against us. I don't know.
No, yeah, that's fair.
All right, whatever. Panama.
Let's try not to get canceled, but yes.
Right. Panama.
I have 1-0. I think we get a 1-0 out of it.
2-2. We suck.
Mister, we're going to make the semifinals. We're about to go out when we lose to Uruguay.
No. You get in with 4. Maybe.
Not if Panama has a better goal differential than us.
I know.
That Uruguay game may come down to the fact that we just need to not lose by more than 1 goal.
Yeah. Uruguay.
I have us losing.
That's my thing. That's my thing is I actually don't like the fact that I think we're going to get a 2-2 to Panama makes you think that I would think that we're going to get a 3-0 loss to Uruguay.
I have a 3-1 loss to Uruguay right now.
I don't think that. I think we can easily beat. Okay. Whoa. We cannot easily beat Uruguay, but I don't think it's like a foregone conclusion that we're going to get smacked by Uruguay. They are so solid, but they don't. If Suarez isn't starting, the police, holy fuck, they're so good.
Darwin Nunez is their best player.
Yeah, that should be a good thing.
No, it's not a good thing. Darwin Nunez is really good.
And he's not their best player. Fede Valverde is obviously.
Yeah, Valverde is their best player.
And so is Araujo.
Yeah, they have a lot of good players.
I already took them to win the tournament.
I told you that they were good. What percentage?
We both did research and came to the table that Uruguay's fucking amazing.
They're incredible.
All right, enough yapping.
Okay.
2-1 Uruguay.
So we get out.
We get 4 points.
We get out with 4 points.
Yep.
No, 5 points. 4 points.
4 points.
Okay.
And I think we get through.
And then we play Brazil.
For vibes.
And we lose 3-1. And Berhalter coaches us in 2026.
We lose 2-0. We don't even look like we can.
It'll be like that Netherlands match where we just
exactly what I was going to say. We don't look like we're ever really going to score.
But we're never really out of it.
We look like we were competitive in possession and different things, but their clinicality, might have made up that word, don't know. You guys know what I mean. Their clinicality, similar to the way...
Is it clinicalness?
Yeah,
clinicalness.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's clinicalness.
Dumfries and Depay, they're just the way that they have killers and better players than we do. Same with Brazil. We'll take them over. It won't look like we got blown out the same way it didn't look like we got blown out against Netherlands, but we didn't create anything against Netherlands. And it'll be the same thing against Brazil.
And our tournament ends.
Berhalter will be fired.
He will not be fired if he makes the quarterfinals and loses to Brazil.
No, false. If we lose to Uruguay, if we get 4 points from the group stage and then lose...
I agree. If we only get 4 points, if we don't beat Bolivia and Panama, I think he gets fired. That's the issue. What are we rooting for here?
You either root for a Yeah, you got to root for.
Like, this sucks.
No, it sucks because you have to hedge. It's like
we already let go of Berhalter. Why did we bring him back?
Because Pep wasn't ready yet. All right, fine. Can we talk realistic?
Pep will never be ready for this job.
Can we talk realistic coaching options? Because I agree, it's tough.
I would love to talk realistic coaching options.
We need to. It's a hate watch and a love watch at the same time.
Yeah.
Because if it starts going bad, it needs to go bad enough that he is undoubtedly going.
Yeah.
And if it goes good, great. I'm not rooting for him to.
No, I am rooting for us to go as far as possible, 100%.
So if it goes well, it goes well.
But if we get 4 points and lose in the quarterfinals, I'm going to be fucking livid if he's not fired.
If he's not fired, I won't be livid because I won't.
No, I'd be pretty livid. We have to believe. We have to beat Bolivia and Panama. We have to.
Agreed. At home.
We're in the United States of America, and
Bolivia
is the worst team in the tournament, and Panama also not much better.
No, if we don't beat Bolivia, he should be let. Who in the AFCON didn't someone get let go after their game and they ended up winning the tournament?
That they ended up going to the final
or winning the tournament.
I don't know if they won.
If we don't beat Bolivia,
should be us.
He needs to be fired that day. Agreed?
Fly Pep over for the summer. He's already in the U.S. We doesn't have to fly him over. Perfect.
Fuck it.
Done.
Is that allowed? Can you be a club coach and an international coach at the same time?
I think you can.
It's just obviously not. All right. Let's talk realistic. Okay, your prediction for what the U.S. does this.
I think we lose in the quarterfinal to either Colombia or Brazil. That's just, I'm going to be honest.
Getting how many points in the group?
I think we'll get 6 points.
All right, so you have 6 points losing to Brazil or Colombia.
But
Brazil score?
3-1 Brazil.
Colombia score?
3-1.
Okay, I have 4 points from the group getting through, losing 2-0 to Brazil or 2-1 to Colombia. That is my final prediction. So
U.S. top scorer?
Pulisic, he'll be on pens also, and he's in unreal form. It would be dumb not to take him.
U.S. best player, Pulisic?
I think there's a chance that Matt Turner could be our best player.
I think that's a good shout. I like that.
I think Pulisic, because no one else will have the impact that Pulisic potentially will have other than if Matt Turner does what he did against Brazil, then you can win any game.
Sure.
I mean,
yeah. Well said. You? Yeah, I mean, I think Pens is a good point. Pulisic will probably oust anyone just from.
And it's just like our striker. It's like, do you take? The France thing is like Giroud's your striker, Griezmann's your pen. Well, Mbappe or Griezmann's your pen taker, and you have Mbappe. Ours is like our best players are our left winger and our striker, so it's not really confusing when it comes to
100%. I honestly think our best chance at going anywhere in this tournament is Pulisic not being our top scorer.
I completely agree, but that's. Yes, 100% agree.
As you said, if Pulisic can be our second best player, who can be our creator and whatever. Yes. So yeah,
if he's our second best, if he's our second highest goal scorer,
we might make a semifinal.
We didn't get out of the group because he scored one and
that's the only goal we scored in the whole.
Or we are in a semifinal. Yes, agreed.
All right. Feel good about that.
Now, realistic replacements.
I've done no research on this. I don't have one.
I don't have one either.
A few years ago, it was Jesse Marsh, but that kind of went off a cliff.
Fuck Jesse Marsh.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm out.
That Canadian maple syrup lover.
Maybe Terzic. Maybe Terzic.
Where is he going? Wasn't he a Dortmund boyhood fan?
Yeah, and he did. They won DFB Pokal last year.
Why?
I don't know, but Nuri Sahin taking over is pretty cool.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That happened today?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's official yet, but.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, really cool. It's so funny, like all these guys we watched growing up are now all the managers.
I know. It's weird.
I guess that's like how it was before. Like people watched Pep and then he became the manager.
Like,
I was too young.
Until Pochettino was hired, I didn't know he was like a good player.
Yeah. He played with Arteta.
Yeah.
And Ronaldinho at PSG.
All right. That's it. I know we may sound really pessimistic. And
I think we were really fair, honestly. I don't think we were negative. I don't think we were overly positive. I think we highlighted the things about this team that are really good. And we're not being too biased. Like there are clearly... We came on here, everyone's talking about that 1-1 match against Brazil, like the U.S. was amazing. And I think there were plenty of things that we learned from that match that we need to get better at if we want to succeed at a real tournament. That was a friendly. Everyone treated it like a friendly on Brazil's side.
All right. Well, if you wanted us to be more biased or more toxic, you will certainly get that during our live streams
100%.
For this tournament. So make sure to tune in for that. Hit the subscribe button. Put your bell on so you don't miss the live stream. And Pep Guardiola... 2026 World Cup champion.
We're on our knees for you, Pep.
Literally.
Peace.